Hey friend, welcome back to another episode of Ash to Dusk. If you're new here, my name is Ashley Marina. I am your friend on the internet that's just trying to navigate the everyday life with raising children, owning a business, being a national keynote speaker, and finding hobbies that I love. So welcome. This week is a very special moment for Ash to Dusk. Now, I started Ash to Dusk as a way for me to be able to offer something more when I go on a speaking tour. Oftentimes, when I go and speak, people will say, "Do you have a book? Do you have something beyond the presentation?" And I didn't up until now. And with the podcast, it was meant for me to have more practice, just sharing my journey, things that I'm learning, but also a way for you to dig deeper into your personal growth journey as well, and possibly into leadership or owning your own business. So we started talking about everything and anything, which has been wonderful. You guys are really resonating with things like fear, specifically around fear of flying, ADHD, raising children with ADHD, feeling burned out in leadership. There are so many things that's resonating with you, and I want to be able to dive deeper into things, but I don't want things to get confusing for us because this is meant to just be a very simple space. And so Sundays are going to be carved out more for those topics around motherhood or parenthood. I know there's quite a few men watching. It's going to be about everything and anything in our personal life. That's going to be reserved for Sunday. And Wednesday is going to be focused a little bit more surrounding the topics of leadership, entrepreneurship, starting your career path and what that might look like. So it's going to be a little bit more focused on that. And today is going to be the first episode that we do surrounding those topics. Now, before we get started, you're probably like, she's moved yet again. Yes, if you've been watching the podcast from the beginning, you'll realize that the background has changed up quite a bit, or I move around the house differently because I don't have a professional studio. And if you've been around from the beginning, that I say, and I love the quote, do what you can with what you have right now where you're at. I absolutely love that motto, and I try to live my life that way. So I don't wait until I have all the things that I need to get started. I just get started, and then I evolve and grow with it. So I started off in a bedroom in my house and I made it an office/podcast studio. Well, then my kiddos were fighting, sharing a room. And as they're getting older, it was just like, okay, they all need to have their own space. And I get that. And we have a sunroom that isn't being used. And how can I make this my office and a podcast studio? Now, I love it out here because there's so much light, so many windows. From a podcasting standpoint, it's trickier because it's louder. My husband just put new flooring in a couple of days ago because our carpet was disgusting. If you have a little Yorkie or little dogs, then you understand. I don't know how to potty train. We've had him for 4 years. I really think it's because he likes to mark his territory, but that's neither here nor there. I got new flooring put in. We didn't do carpet. We put the vinyl down. So it's really loud, and he still has to put up curtains, which will help absorb the sound. And we're waiting for some other things to come in. So for right now, I'm doing the best that I can with what I have right now. And we're going to keep the podcast going. So today's conversation, I think, is so important. So whether or not you own your own business, you're in leadership, or you're wanting to pursue a career in leadership, I think what's so important is having a morning routine. Now, I used to listen to people on the internet and social media, and you would hear about their crazy morning routines, and I would get like infatuated with it, like, oh my gosh, I need to be doing this and this and this and this. But what I've come to realize is that the morning routine shouldn't be something that stresses you out or takes over your day. It needs to be something that works for you. And what works for one person will not work for somebody else. It's the same thing with exercise. It's the same thing with, books that you like to read. Everyone is different. So I wanted to share with you some things that have worked for me starting my day, specifically around owning my own business now and what that looks like with also raising children and how it's impacted my life. And I think that it will for you too. Okay, so let's dive in. The number one thing I do when I wake up every single day is make my bed. I make my bed every single day. It's very rare that I don't. And if I don't, it's typically because I'm going to be washing my bedding. So every single day, I make my bed. And I used to never do this. All right. If you came into my house years ago, there would always it would be a train wreck, first of all, but my bedroom was always a mess and I never made my bed. And I figured, why would I make my bed? I'm just going to get back into it later in the day. But by making your bed every single day, you are doing something for yourself first before you do something for anyone else. Now, hear me out. I know that that sounds selfish to you because you are so used to giving and you were trained that that's what you're supposed to do. And yes, we should give. I don't question that at all. But you can only give so much without replenishing yourself. It's just like money. There's only so much money that you can give or pay out without receiving more money. And it's the same thing when it comes to your self-care or taking care of yourself. And part of it is a morning routine. So I start every single day with making my bed. It makes me feel as if I've accomplished something, and also it's orderly, which is so vital when you are in a leadership role or you own your business. Then and this is aside from like getting my kids up and off to school, right? Like I still have kiddos that need me to get them up and off to school. But the first thing I do is make my bed. And I always get a shower, or if I'm not getting a shower for whatever reason, I wash my face. So I'm either getting a shower or I'm washing my face. But no matter what, that is always happening, and brushing my teeth. Like those are basic, and you're probably like, this is what you're going to talk about today. Yes, because I want to remind you of something. If you are living in a state of depression or you feel stuck, you feel like you have low energy, oftentimes we put all of those basic things to the side. Like we don't even do that, right? Like we don't make our bed, we may not jump in the shower, we may not wash our face, we just brush our teeth real quick and get the day going, and we're scrambling because we woke up 15 minutes before our workday starts. That is a space that you don't want to be in. You want to be able to get up early enough to be able to do a handful of things for yourself before you start your day, before you start giving to others. So making your bed, getting a shower, because you're going to feel so much better. And again, if you don't have time to take a shower, then washing your face, right? Doing some sort of skincare routine, and it can be so basic. For me, I'm a basic person when it comes to makeup and skincare, but I do it and it makes me feel good when I'm done washing my face. Then I head downstairs, and after I feed all the animals, so we have cats outside, we have a cat inside, and our dog Louie, I take care of them, but then I also drink a glass of water or my hibiscus tea every single day. And I make sure that I get that in because once I get going, it's like crazy. Then I will start my workday typically around 8 o'clock. Now, this is the latest I have ever started my workday. Now, this is on a traditional day when I'm working from home. There are so many times where I'm in a school building working and I leave much earlier, or if I'm traveling the country during my keynotes, then that's different. But I'm talking about what my morning routine looks like when I'm working from home. And so right around 8 o'clock is when I get started for my day. So between 5:45 and 8 o'clock, I'm not doing anything for work if I can help it. Now, my team starts at 7. And if you're in a leadership role and you have a team that starts before you, that's okay. Sometimes it's hard. When I was a food service director, I didn't start my workday until 7 o'clock, between 7 and 7:30, but my team started at 6:30 in the morning. So sometimes it's tricky, but empowering them to be able to make the decisions that they need to make and do what they need to do without you, there really shouldn't be an issue there. Now, it might take a minute to get to that spot, and that we'll talk about on another episode. But for this specific conversation, I want to stick with the morning routine. So I want you to decide the night before what the morning is going to look like. If you just wake up in the morning and think of a routine's going to get started, it's not. A routine comes from building daily habits, and it's from doing it over and over again. So you have to decide now, before the morning comes, what do I want my mornings to look like and how do I want to feel? I want to feel calm, right? Like I want my mornings to feel as calm as possible. And so for me, that looks like quiet time in my bedroom without my kiddos. I get them off to school on the bus, and then that's when I start getting myself ready for the day. And then I need time to just settle into my thoughts and figure out what I'm going to do for the day. Now, I've also recently started doing some sort of a workout in the morning and or meditation. So it could be even just 10 minutes, but again, it's filling my mind first and my spirit before I go and give. I've also recently started praying before my workday. Now, this is something that I never did before. And you don't have to be religious to hear this message, okay? You could simply just meditate. You could just have a moment where you're reading a book or something quiet. But for me, if I start my day with a prayer and gratitude, then I'm already setting myself up for looking for all the good things that are going to happen. So oftentimes we start our day off in a bad mood, or that something's wrong or something bad had happened. And then you go throughout your day recognizing all the crappy things. But if you start off in a place of, I am so grateful to be here today. I am grateful for my breath. I am grateful to be in this leadership role where I have the ability to influence decisions and programs, how people might buy my product, like whatever it is for you, whatever role you're in. When you show up with that gratitude, that spills over into your day and onto your teams. And I want you to remember something in leadership. Leadership is the art of influence. It's the ability to get people to believe into something and to do it. But it starts with them seeing you believing it. It starts with your team seeing you take action on the things that you talk about. So if you preach to your team the importance of taking care of themselves and self-care, but they don't see you doing that, then there's like a disconnect and it breaks some trust. So they need to see that you're also taking care of yourself. And I get that that's hard when you're in some sort of management or leadership role, or even in entrepreneurship, because quite frankly, everyone thinks that if you have a title of some sort of like CEO or a director or a manager, that you don't have feelings anymore. You're not a human. They just recognize you for your title. And we all know that that's not true, like that you are a human with emotions and needs as well. And you need to be able to fulfill those. You need to be able to fill your cup so that you can pour into other people. And don't break promises to yourself. So when you say, hey, I want to start this routine, do it every single day. Are you going to have to like make adjustments to it? For sure. I have to all the time. I feel like my morning routine is always changing. But when I speak of morning routine, it's not like I need to go hard at the gym or anything like that. For me, it is that I am getting up and I'm routinely choosing myself over anybody else first for the first 2 hours of my day. And for you, you might need to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. Instead of sleeping in until 7, maybe you can get up at 6. But my routine is, can I do anything for myself or my family before I do anything for work? That was something that was so hard for me. And now I can't imagine a day where I don't start with about 2 hours of time to myself first. And that is just the reality. So if I know that I have to get up early in the morning and I need to be on the road by 6 or 7 in the morning, then I'm going to get up at 5, or I'm going to get up at 4:45. I'm going to get up a little bit earlier because I know I might be a little tired, but I'm going to feel better knowing that I did things for myself first. And also, I try to do one thing around the house. Maybe it's a load of laundry. Maybe there's dishes in the sink from the night before. Or there's something. I try to feel like, okay, I did something for myself, but I also did something for my family and our home, because then I feel less guilty about it at the end of the day. I feel like, you know what, well, I've already done something. So I don't know if that was helpful to you. And if it was, please leave a comment below or send me a DM. Let me know what your morning routine is or what you're struggling with about your morning routine. But what I will say is that you have to actually plan it out. You have to set your alarm. You need to get up when that alarm goes off. There's nothing that I hate more, but maybe that's exaggerating, but having somebody just keep snoozing the alarm, and my husband is guilty of it. But when my alarm goes off, I am up. I am a morning person, and I know that that's not the case for everybody, but you can train yourself to get there. You just have to actually do it. So do the Mel Robbins thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. And that's, I promise you, you do it for 30 days, you're going to be able to do it. So, all right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this different type of episode, the content. If you have other ideas, let me know. But until I see you next time, my friend, keep your light burning from ash to dusk.